Hello, everybody. YouTube, Instagram, here we are. Pulling things up on the old computer screen. There we go. We're pulled up on the chat here. And we are pulled up on Instagram. Pull up some music. Hold the phone. This is super engaging, I'm sure. Copyright free. Blues. Alright, we're going to hope that it doesn't go and put a bunch of ads in the middle of this. Okay. We're going to try and get set up here. Pull up OBS to see the view we're getting. Okay, today we are, hold on, let me actually do this properly here. Good morning. I'm going to move that goober down. Good Lord. Good morning. My name is Nikola Angelovich. This is Arangella. We're live. We are doing a briefcase. I've been doing these the last few days. And yeah, you can go and watch these all back later to see the full process. Today we are cutting a trunk handle and we're doing some pockets. So that is, yeah, that's what we're going to get to right now. And I'm going to switch this camera back over. There we go. Hello, Daniel. Good to see you. Okay, so this is the pattern for the trunk handle. Another shorty. What I want to do is I want to measure. I can pull out this pattern, right? I want to measure the trunk handle is going to go right here, and I want to measure it in a way where it's going to have a little bit of bow to it. So instead of just being flat, it's going to kind of go like that. So I'm going to take my trusty tape measure. I'm going to just measure in between these marks. So that's 8 inches. So the way I'm going to do this, let me pull out These are some of the straps you worked on yesterday. If you're looking at it, like from the top of the bag, this is what it's going to look like. Okay? So what we want is we want the trunk handle to be somehow secured on here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut an extra piece to go around here and rivet into this strap. Okay? And then this is going to go inside that piece, and then it's going to be bowed like that. That being said, I want to have enough length here to have a nice handle. So we are going to do, let's see here. I think we're going to do, it's 8 inches between that. So see. Could do double the length. So do 16, but that's going to be quite the bow. Do 11. Do 10. I think 10 inches is going to be the right amount. Yeah, it's 8 inches between the holes. So what we're going to do is we're going to measure this center part, I think, is where I'm going to make 8 inches, and then we're going to have the extra length in these ends. And that should be enough to have a nice handle. Okay, we're going to move this guy. Now you can see I've pulled a few pieces here. A few pieces with some pretty cool range marks. Okay, I'm trying to make sure Instagram people can see it too. So this is really cool. So this is a range mark. For anyone who doesn't know, this is usually a brand when you see anything like this. So, I mean, you know what a brand is. Take a hot iron, or what newer ranches are doing, which I actually really like. The new thing to do is to do cold branding. That's not going to leave as much of a mark for us leather workers, but it is better for the animal, because it's fucking just freezing cold for a few seconds instead of burning hot. But anyways, burns the skin so you can tell what range the animal's from. And it does leave really, really cool range marks that make for really cool one-of-a-kind pieces. So we're going to cut pockets from these pieces. We're going to do probably a phone pocket from this piece. And I might be able to get a wallet from here or from here. And then we're going to trim this extra, because you see this skin is here. We're going to trim that off and kind of clean it up a little and then put a finish on it. And then I pulled out this other scrap piece, which we are going to, I'm going to see if I can do a piece from here. If not, that's okay. Because I have more pieces. Let's see here. Kind of digging this music. What do you think, Daniel? You like this music? Can you even hear the music? Is it loud enough? Okay, I think I can do this. I'm going to just butt it up as far as it will go. to the edge. Now this is actually not a really good... I'm trying to place this in such a way where I get the most length possible. There to there is 18. Okay, it's about the same. Oh, I misplaced my awl. Nope, here it is. It's okay. We're good. So, tell me what you guys think. I'm thinking about getting set up, doing some more research maybe this weekend about how to become eligible to stream on TikTok as well. I don't know if it's even worth doing that. I personally don't use TikTok, but I understand that there's a lot of users, and that's like the big short form content thing. So you tell me what you think. Should I be on TikTok? I think it'd be interesting. Okay. Go ahead and so I got the first part of the shorty measured. Now I'm going to take my straight edge and measure the center part, which is like the actual handle. I'm going to just measure that at 8 inches. Okay. And we're going to do the same thing. I understand you probably can't see this very well, but I can see it. So. And what we're going to do here is we're actually going to line this in blue suede. And I'm going to use my oblong punch to punch oblong holes going the length of this thing. So you'll get little bits of blue, which I think will be really cool. Okay. Okay. Now we can go ahead and trim this. So, the way I've made this pattern, I'm going to taper the ends just like the exact same way I've tapered the straps, if you watched yesterday. Okay, as always, fresh new blade every time. I always replace my blade every few uses. Technically, I should be doing it every day, but I do it about like every other day, I think. And it just makes a world of difference. Okay, so we are going to I'm going to cut the ends out first, and then we're going to move over to the punch table to cut out the taper. And actually put the holes in too. And I do have my computer on a charger now, right from the start, so hopefully I can prevent the slowdown that we had yesterday. That actually reminds me, I'm supposed to be recording both of these too, so I'm going to go ahead and start that. Okay. Alright, we're going to move on over to the other table so I can punch the ends out, and then we're going to put a finish on here, groove line, stitch line, and get the glue in. I guess actually I don't even have to move you over. Yeah, we're going for a little ride. I apologize. A little trippy, I know. There we go. Back here again. Turn on the light. Okay, we are going to punching a couple things out. All right, I'm going to start with the taper. And I will clean up. The edges are not going to be perfect here, but I'm going to clean them up when we get back to the other table. Just there we go, that one was better. And we do the end. All right, let me do the other end now. And then I'm gonna punch out the holes at the end, and then we're gonna go ahead and mark for our oblong holes, because I want to make sure they're in the middle. Okay, so now let's get back over to the other table and we will mark for oblong holes, and yeah, I'll just punch those when I get back. Here we go. I'm gonna move this similar deal that I had yesterday. First things first, we're gonna go ahead and trim that piece off. Okay, and since this is 8 inches, since this is 2 inches wide, I can use my the 1 inch part of my square, and I can go ahead and use that to mark for the oblong holes. Okay, so got 8 inches. They are 5/8. Oblong holes are 5/8 each. So I'm going to just mark it as 1/2 inch, and it'll even itself out. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to mark I'm going to make a line where the hole is going to be, and there's going to be no line where the hole's not going to be. And I'm going to go every 1/2 inch. So I made one from 7.5 to 7 and one from 1/2 to 1. Now we're going to move an inch and do the same thing. Okay. So now we've gone 5.5 to 6 and 2 to 2.5. Move an inch again. Okay, and I think I'm going to just have a full inch long one in the middle, because that's how it's going to even out. Okay, so you'll see here. Can you see the marks? So we're going to punch that out, and then there's going to be blue suede popping out in those holes, so it's going to look really cool. Okay, I'm going to move this back over to the table, to the punch table, and we're gonna get that stuff punched out. Just taking some water real quick. There's a leatherworking trick for you. Never forget to hydrate. You gotta have your body be healthy and functional in order to make fantastic leather goods. So health and fitness and hydration and nutrition and good sleep are all things that you should definitely pay attention to as a leather worker. Okay, so we're just doing these holes first, and then we're going to pull out the oblongs and do the oblong holes. Okay, here's my 5/8 oblong. You will have seen me use that yesterday. Now, these holes might not seem like a lot. However, keep in mind that this is going to be bent like this, and that's what you're going to see. So you're going to see those holes really popping through there. And one of the reasons I left so much room in between the holes is so that I'll have an easier time putting glue in between those holes when I go to glue the suede on. Okay, let me grab my other oblong. Go ahead and do the 1 inch. There we go. Are they perfectly in line? No, but once you have it bent, it won't matter. Okay, we are going to put a groove line in, and then we're going to pull out the suede. I'm going to throw a finish on here, and then we're going to glue, chisel, and sew. I was about to go and turn off the camera because I was just thinking like, oh yeah, now it's time to cut. No. Okay, I'm going to actually move the camera, the main camera back over so you guys can get a better view than this. Yeah, so it's not going to be one layer. It's going to be suede, then this, and then there's going to be a core in there. So it's going to be like a round handle. You'll see as we go along here. TikTok is for short form, but also they've got a big live thing. I wish I was heading to Miami Beach. No, I don't get out much, so this is basically my weekday and weekend. Okay. Yes, I'm going to move the other camera over and we're going to get a better view here. I think I'm going to just keep you guys on the floor. How's that view? Just make sure everyone can see. Okay, so I've got my groover set at 1/8 of an inch. You want to go slow and steady when you're grooving around curves and everything, because the last thing you want is a messy groove. Which I feel like now I've just jinxed myself and I'm going to get a messy groove, but think positively, Nicola. Ah. Okay, it's not that bad. A little bit, but that'll be hidden anyways. You see, we had a little doozy there. That's going to be hidden when it's riveted to the bag, so it doesn't really matter. Okay, go ahead and do the same thing on the other side. I've never done one of these trunk handles where it's lined in suede. I've seen other people do them, and it's something I've always wanted the chance to do. So I'm pretty excited. I'm trying to keep it in frame for everyone. Okay. So I'm gonna throw a finish on, then we're gonna pull out the suede and we're gonna start gluing. Alright, so if you guys haven't seen this before, this is, this is a Folgers container, but what's inside is some leather finish. It's an all-natural finish. It is Fiebing's Leather Balm with Atom Wax. My favorite finish. Shines beautifully. That's what all of the leather is finished with on this bag. So I'm going to go ahead and get my applicator rag kind of turned around a little bit. Find a soft spot. So you just dip it in there. You can get some on there. And then go ahead and apply. So I could definitely use some more. There we go. That's a good amount. Move that. Okay, there we go. Now you see it's going on. And since this is just raw veg tan, it will soak up some of the finish, but overall it's going to look really nice when we're done. Okay. Now we take our buffing rag and we go ahead and start buffing, and especially when you're working with a dyed leather, you'll see the color go really matte for a second, and do not worry, that's just the finish working, that's you developing it. It will pick up a shine relatively quickly if you just keep buffing. Okay, and I've got some unfinished veg here, and you're going to see the difference. Okay, so this is some unfinished, right? One of the pieces I was showing off earlier. Look at the difference. So I love how this veg tan looks with this finish on here. Now it's going to look even better with some blue suede popping through. So we are going to keep this finish close by because we're going to use it again pretty soon for the pockets. I'm going to go ahead and just move that right there. Got some water. And we're going to go ahead and pull out our suede. Now we've got a smaller piece here, which may, oh, no. Alright, so we got a few pieces here. I'm going to try and find the smallest one possible to use for this. So, okay, perfect. That's going to be this one. I'm going to make sure there's no overcut. Okay, and since this is the side that's going to be showing, we want the cleaner side. In this case, this is one of the rare cases where you want the cleaner side being the side that you put the glue on instead of the rougher side. So I'm going to roll up the rest of this. This is going to come in handy when we get to lacing, because I'll show you how I make all of my suede lace. I think I've done it in a very, very smart way. Alright, now I'm going to have to lay down some paper when we get to gluing, because glue is a pain in the ass to take off of there. But first I'm going to take a stiff bristle brush, and we're going to brush this and get it really, really clean and get all of the nap up. So the nap is, if you see on suede, you see how you go one way and it leaves darker, and you go the other way and it becomes lighter. I don't know if you can see that, but the nap, when it's darker, that means that you've picked up the nap, and so that would be the way of it. And then going lighter means that you've kind of matted down the nap. And we want the nap to be up, because when we place this down, we're going to press around these holes, and then we're going to be able to see where the holes are going to lay on the overall piece, and then we're going to be able to glue around those holes. Oh, then we've just reached an ad. Waiting for that to go. There we go. Okay, so I'm going to go grab a stiff bristle brush. So you see I've already used it for this purpose. And we're just going to go ahead Okay, so we got that up, we've got the nap all lifted up. Now, we're just going to make sure that okay, going to get it laid down, and we're just going to press around the holes, and I'm also going to go ahead and, while it's down, trace around with a pen. And actually, I don't even need to do that, because I'm going to just go ahead and glue over the entire piece so that I can trim perfectly. So now, as you can see all of the holes in there, right? So now what we're going to do is we're going to take a pen, we're going to go around those holes with the pen so that I know for sure, because once I'm gluing, the nap's going to get messed up, and then I'm not going to be able to see it anymore. So did I literally take all of my pens upstairs? Wow. Alright, that's fine. We'll take Sharpies. Alright, this is my patterning Sharpie. And we're going to just go ahead give myself more than enough room to where I don't accidentally glue over the area that's going to be showing. And I'm going with the nap when I'm tracing around here, just because the mark looks better. Okay, that's pretty easy. All right, so you see we've got holes there. Now we are going to lay some glue down on both pieces, and we're going to get this glued, cut, chiseled, and sewn. All right, I'm actually going to pull out the paper that I would usually use to protect for the finish, and we're going to go ahead and use that. For the gluing. I'm going to go ahead and grab some gloves. By the way, for anyone who wants to keep up with these lives, I usually have them scheduled out a few days ahead of time. So like, I scheduled out Monday through Wednesday for on Sunday, and I'm going to go ahead and, once this live is done, schedule out for the rest of the week. So you can just hit notify me and you'll never miss a live. Never be late, never miss anything. Okay. So for anyone who hasn't seen this, this is barge contact cement. It's honestly, I think it's the best contact cement out there. Very, very reliable. And once you use this on two pieces of leather and you stick them together, they are like one piece of leather, which is amazing. So this is only if you're gluing and you want things to stay permanently. So if you, let's say you're gluing to sew, right? Tack to sew, which is what it's known as. You're gonna use a white glue because you don't need it to stay permanently. You don't want to deal with the chemicals of the contact cement or whatever. But if you're, let's say, lining a bag like we are, or lining a piece of leather, and the glue is going to be one of the main structural components to it, to the overall construction, then you're going to want to do contact cement because you're tacked to permanent, which is you're tacking two things together or gluing two things together, and they're going to stay like that permanently without very much extra. In this case, we are going to be sewing as well, but because we're doing a filigree cut, which is what the oblong holes are acting as, we're going to tack to permanent anyways. But if I was just laying glue down for, let's say, a stitch line or something like that, I would be doing, I'd be using white glue, because as much as I love barge, it is a little bit to deal with. Okay, so I just want to make sure. Oh, oh my God. Okay, so that whole thing about laying down the nap and doing everything, that was pointless because I just glued over those holes. Okay. Well. Alright, well, we are going to just flip this over and do the same thing on the other side. That's just stupidity on my part. I don't know, I was not even aware of what I was doing. Okay, we're going to just flip it over. I don't care if it sticks to the paper at all. Okay, we're going to do the same thing. Clean it up. Lay this down. Silly me. Okay, now we're going to do it properly. I'm going to go ahead and glue around. I actually cannot believe I did that. Silly Nicola. Either way, it's really just going to look like a darker suede. A little bit napped down if you don't put on the glue like really heavily, so doesn't matter as much, but you do want to do your best to not do what I did. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and lay glue on this piece now. Yeah, we're dealing with not very much glue here. Luckily, I think this is, well, no, this isn't the last amount of gluing we're going to have to do for this project, because I still have to do a shoulder pad, but this is almost the last amount of glue that we're going to have to do. Hello, new viewer. If you are interested in what we're doing, right now we're working on a handle for a briefcase, which we've been working on the last couple of weeks. If you want to see the whole process, you can go onto my YouTube channel and you'll see, like, all of them should be posted in one playlist. But yeah, right now we're working on the handle piece that's going to go on the top of the bag. And right now I got to let this glue dry, and then we can move on and work on the sewing and all that good stuff. So I'm going to let this sit for a few minutes, and we're going to go ahead and move over to the laptop and just chat, and I'm going to drink some water and be all good. Oppa. Hello. Yeah. I wish I do need to get some kind of sound alerts or something. Thank you for trying to stop me, but yeah. Sometimes you get in the zone and you just kind of get lost. I do want to figure out a some kind of like overlay so that I can see the chat like that. I think that'd be pretty cool. Now, okay, to me it looks super choppy. Tell me if it looks super choppy to you. It's nice to sit down for a minute. Nope, we lost someone. Yeah, now I don't know really what to... I wish I could like put up a game or something and some way to interact. This weekend, I'm going to work on more ways to make money. If I'm being honest. That's... The weekend is usually my... oh, we have 4 people on now. Hello. We're working on Briefcase. I'm just letting some glue dry, so I just decided to sit down for a minute. But yeah, the weekend is usually my time for planning and kind of getting stuff set up for the week. And you know, if I want to do some kind of business expansion or learning or work on something new, that's my time to do that. It's also my time to just kind of disconnect from everything and just kind of take a breather. So yeah, new viewer. I know we had 4 people now. Okay, awesome. Guys, if you stay on for like 5 more minutes, you're going to see what we're working on. I just have to let some glue dry. So if you can stay on for a few more minutes. Oh, we lost one person. Trust me, it'll be worth it. It's a cool thing. I'm going to check, actually, I'm going to check the glue now. It's still a little... Still a little bit iffy on whether it's dry or not. But I'm going to try and get this... Try and just disperse it a little bit. And I think we can... So, by the way, I will be putting this bag up for sale on the website at the end of, not at the end of this live, but when we're done with the bag. So if you want to stay updated on that, I'll probably be posting a video. Yeah, I'll probably be posting a video about it on Instagram. But also, if you go to the website and you make an account, then you'll get an email when I drop new stuff on there. Okay. Oh. Okay, we're going to go ahead and roll. Shit. Alright, I apologize. Phone's okay. I'm okay, you're okay. Sorry for the sudden movement. Just going ahead and tightening it on the tripod here, so just give me a second. Apologize for the fall. Alright. We're set up again. Cool. Everyone is good. Oh, 4 people watching. Yeah, I saw, so I don't know, maybe my viewer count will change sometimes, but it went down to 0 and then went right back up to 4, so. Okay. Now, this, I'm not too fussed about the fact that this paper is stuck, because this is all going to be hidden here. But I'm going to move this paper now. We're going to kind of make sure it's all stuck on there properly, and we're going to get to cutting. Now I'm going to do the first part of the cutting with the straight edge, just all the straight lines, but then I'm going to wait and equal up. First we're going to roll. Sometimes I'm too eager for my own good. Okay, I'm sure that is nice and on there now. All right. Okay, go ahead and do the same thing on the other side. The reason I'm not super fussed about the glue on the back side is because you're not going to see the back side at all. In fact, I'm actually going to have to put glue on there anyways, so not a huge deal. Okay. Now I'm going to go ahead and freehand this. I'm trying to get it positioned for everyone. All right, we're going to freehand that and this end as well. All right. Now we're just going to go ahead and freehand at the other end. Almost there. Okay, we are trimmed. This piece is a little iffy. I'm going to go ahead and just put a dab of white glue in there and kind of press that down. The ends are going to be hidden, but I want to make sure that it's still, you know, still nice and stiff. stuck down on there. Let me just wipe away any excess glue. Now the nice thing about the white glue is that you can just wipe it away with your hands and it comes off your hands really easily. It's also washable with water because it is water-based. Whoa, 5 people watching. Hello, everyone new. We are doing a briefcase. Right now we're working on the handle. So it's going to go like that. There's going to be a core in there. You're going to grab the handle. Everything's lined in blue suede, and we've got little pops of blue on the handle. And it's going to be sewn in matching blue thread as well. Okay, so the next step of this process is going to be cutting out our core and making sure that that is good to go. And then I'm going to go ahead and do the chisel lines. For us, the core is going to be 1/2 inch rope. And that rope is going to allow for a really nice thing to grab once it's the rope and this stuff. And you can see the rope is nice and thick at the center. So I just want to make sure I've got the right amount. And then I'm going to just snip it with my shears. Yeah, so then you can kind of see how this is going to go together and how it's going to look. Right? That's pretty cool. Okay, so now we're going to need to put the chisel line in. Then we're going to put a little more glue down. And then we're going to sew. And then this part is done, actually. Or we might do, I think we're going to do a little bit of edge work as well. Alright, so I'm going to get you moved on over back to the punching table. This time I'm going to move you over to this camera just so you don't throw up while I'm moving the workshop camera. I understand that movement can be pretty extreme for some people. Have I... Aha! Sorry, I thought maybe I freaking broke my tripod when I knocked it over. Okay, we're gonna move you on back over. Now, first thing we need to do is we're going to re-punch these holes because they need to go all the way through the suede. Okay. Now, what I'm going to do to ensure that these match up on both ends is I'm going to get it as close to lined up as possible. I'm going to make sure that this end tine is just off the edge of the leather. And that will make it. And if I do that on the same side on the other side, then it's going to be starting at the exact same point. Okay. And I just want to make sure, again, I want to make sure it's starting. Okay. All right, now we're going to just go down the line until we get to the end, and then we're going to do the same thing from the other end. Okay, so now we're back to this end, and you can see it's not perfect. Actually, it almost is perfect. All right, actually, yeah, no, forget what I said. It is perfect. All right, it goes perfectly to the edge. Good deal. I'm going to go ahead and we're going to just do the exact same thing on the other side. Okay. Now I would like to take it just a little bit further. So what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to pull out the 4 tine, and we're going to go ahead and just do 1 4 tine on every single piece, or every single side. Or I guess corner. I guess this is a corner. Okay, so those are all the stitching holes. Now we can lay the core in and get this all glued. And I just hit, that's hilarious, I just hit the foam like to end the clip again. Jeez, I'm hitting everything today. Alright, we're going to get you moved back over here. I don't know what's going on today. Alright. There we are. I'm going to just go ahead and check the Where did you fly? I don't know. I don't know what you mean. Ha, yeah. Good old salmon lapred. Yeah, I should take some pictures. That's a good idea. I usually take pictures of the end of the work, like once it's done. But that's a good idea to do some photos throughout. Huh. You're just full of ideas, Daniel. That's a really good idea. I'm going to start doing that for sure. Okay. So, we are going to lay a line of glue down like this. We're going to lay our piece like that, and then lay glue on top of it. And you're not on the right camera. Good God. Okay, do that again. We are going to lay glue on this piece. Lay the rope, or the core, down like that. And then lay glue on top of the core. And then we're going to go ahead and close it, put it in the stitching pony, and start sewing. Yeah. And we're going to do a little bit of edge work, very light edge work on this once we're done sewing. So, grab a fresh foam brush. How far in are we? We're an hour in, okay. Alright, we're going to just press it down in there. And I'm going to go ahead and lay on an extra piece on top, extra bit of glue on top. And once we sew, this is going to really close in. You'll see, it's going to look really, really, really clean. All right. Now I'm going to move out my stitching pony, and we're going to get to sewing. So we're almost done with this handle here. Okay. Okay, we got our thread. Go ahead and pop squat here. So a good trunk handle should just barely close around the core, which this does. So let me go ahead and close that. And you're going to see as we sew, I'm going to also press the core down more, so it's going to get gradually hidden. So just find the end of my thread here. There we go. I'm going to do about 3.5 times the length. Okay. And we're not going to mess around with choking thread or anything this time. I think there's just enough thread to where I can just slip knot the ends and sew comfortably. Okay. All right. I'm going to go ahead and find the first hole On this side, I'm going to pull evenly. You can see it's already wanting to close without even a stitch going on yet. Now, at the beginning, it's going to be much more difficult, but as we go along here, it's just going to get easier and easier. So yeah, and as I go along, I just want to push that core in there so it doesn't want to come out at all. And you also want to make sure not to pierce the core, because then it's going to get caught up in the stitch, and then that's not going to look very clean. So you see here how much this wants to close up now. Okay, so again, go ahead and push that core down in there. Especially the ends of the rope tend to fray more. Oh, come on. Come on. Yeah, I'm sorry there's not a lot of talking to do at this point. Daniel, what do you do on your weekends? So I'm boring. I'm very routine and I go out or I don't go out. I know it's definitely not the norm. Alright, we're going to bring it up a little bit so that I can get a better angle here. I can already tell, though, it's getting really good. Nice and rounded. And the traditional way you would do these handles is to do them with a piece of leather inside. But the thing that I mean, it's cool, but it ends up being very flat. So it's just a little bit of a different look and also a different experience holding it. So I think the round is naturally more comfortable in your hand. So that's why I'm going with the round. Okay, we're about halfway there, I think. I think we might have to get to the pockets tomorrow because we're already probably going to be an hour and a half in as it is. I might go ahead and get the pockets cut out today and get a finish on them, and then we might have to wait and do the chiseling and sewing of the pockets tomorrow. Because at the same time, I also want to do the keychain strap, because that's kind of lines up with how the pockets are going to be. So you can already see now, see how that ribbing looks. So I think that's pretty cool. So we're about halfway there. You can see how the thread looks. All right, let me open up this clamp, and we're gonna just down like that. I think this is such a cool thing to see come together, just because like you can feel the firmness of the edge, which we're gonna bevel and sand and burnish, and then you just like you see the roundness come together. Oof, so nice. I think trunk handles are probably one of the most satisfying things to make from start to finish. Hello, people on Instagram. We are doing a trunk handle for a briefcase today. And I've been doing all these lives on YouTube. You can watch them all back when this one is done. You can see all the progress we've made so far on this project. getting to the end here. I realize Instagram people, you can't see me, so I'm gonna go ahead and move. Opa. Had a little casualty here. All right, we're getting close. We're almost. Come on. Oh, we got close up there. So freaking cool. We're on the last probably 4 stitches here. And then I'm just going to tie a knot instead of burning. Ho 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 ho, this is going to be so freaking cool. We got one more hole. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is we're going to do a little bit of a back stitch, okay? Like you would do on a sewing machine. If I could get the needle through the hole. Okay, so this is the last stitch, right? The last hole, rather. So we're going to go ahead and pull it tight, nice and tight, and then we're going to go back 1 stitch and out the end there. We're going to do the same thing on the other end. And we're going to go ahead and tie a square knot. So right over left, left over right. And you're gonna just wanna pull it as much as it'll go. Grab your nippers, right? Just snip. You can take your awl and just shove them down, shove the ends down in there. And boom. This portion of the project is done. I'm gonna get us moved on over. We're gonna do a little bit of edge work, and then I think we're gonna call it a day. As soon as I get up from this horse. Oh lordy. All right. Look at that handle, man. Okay, you can see that effect we made with the oblong holes. You can see the thread. I'm going to try and get it up close for everyone there. You can just see how full. I've got big monkey hands, and that still feels really good in my hands. And it's just nice and shiny, but like understated. Yeah, I love it. Okay. I'm going to take some sandpaper and just go ahead and sand the inside here. We're going to bevel. We're going to put some of the same finish that we used on the outside on the edges, and we're going to go ahead and just burnish, and I think we're going to be good. So sandpaper first. All right, this is my little sanding block. Shout out to Ryan Cargill on Instagram. He showed this to me. And at first I thought it was just a little gimmick, but to be honest, they're actually super useful. So this is just, I think, 85 grit sandpaper. And I'm going to just go ahead and go on the edges here. Okay, there's a couple of areas where we've got a little bit of the rope coming through. I don't know if you can see that. So I think I'm going to just go ahead and take my... I'm going to try and cut it with my utility knife. And if all else fails, I will use my shears. My other option is I can burn it, and it'll probably melt those synthetic fibers down, and then I can just sand off the little bits of remnant. I think that's what I'm going to do. So, lighter. go ahead and, oh yeah, that's going to work a treat. Go ahead and hammer down. There we go. All right, we're going to get back to sanding. I also want to get these areas where the stitch starts and finishes. Okay, I think for this, instead of using the finish that I use on the outside, I think I'm going to just use some Tokonol for this, just because it's a nice beefy edge, and I think I want to just go ahead and burnish it down really, really hard, just so you can't feel any fibers. I don't need it to be crazy shiny or anything, because it's going to be on the bottom side, so I'm going to just hit it with my edge beveler. Let me move this camera, point it down. Clear this stuff. Okay. Edge beveler is from Little King Supply. It's really good. I don't know exactly what kind of wood it is, but they're not sponsors or anything. I really like his tools. Okay. And get the Tokonol out and my burnisher. And I'm actually also, I've got this little horsehair brush from Smith's All Natural Leather Balm. I'm going to go ahead and just brush off, and also the nap of the suede is going to come up in the edges as well. So it's helpful to figure out which way the nap is going and just brush it down before you burnish. Okay, now I'm going to go really, really heavy on the Tokonol. And we may be doing a few layers here. I don't know. Depends on how much this edge soaks up this Tokonol. Because sometimes edges will just drink up the Tokonol and you have to put a lot on, and other times it takes very little. Okay, so it looks like that was actually good. Go ahead and just any more. We're going to move this camera back up a little bit so that everyone can see me burnishing. So this is also from Little King Supply. I also, partly I got the tools because I like the brass on there. I think it's cool. Okay, so I'm going to take the notch that is closest to the thickness of the edge. In this case, I'm going to take the biggest notch and then I'm going to work my way down until it's not small enough. So basically I'm using the two biggest ones. And we're just going to be burnishing really, really, really hard here. And what you want is you want to be able to hear a clicking noise by the time you're done. And once you hear that clicking noise, you'll know that everything's nice and smooth. And then that's where you can start sanding and putting on different finishes and sanding and putting on finishes to get like a mirror edge. But for this, your hand's going to be on it literally all the time. So I'm not gonna really worry about the mirror edge for this. Okay, so already it feels really nice. Okay, so I'm going to work down to the next size, and then I'm going to use just the end of it. And sometimes you won't get the clicking noise. You want to try and do it, but I don't know if I'm going to in this case. Okay, so now we just use the end. And really, I'm just trying to get a really smooth edge. It feels good to the hand. Oh. I don't know. Can you hear the clicking? I can start to hear it now, so that's good. All right, that's it. We're done. Well, we're done with this step. Next time we're going to do the pockets, get them sewn on. We're also going to do the bit that will hold the clip for the keychain. So I'm going to go ahead and switch over to the MacBook, and we're going to show this off. All right, so here we go. This is our, sorry, I'm trying to position it. I really, really like the way this handle turned out. I think just that little bit of blue popping out gives it a really nice pop. And then I'm gonna grab all right, so this is the body. That's the body. And this is gonna be positioned just like that. Look at that. And there's going to be the straps going on, so it's going to be more like something like that. I think that's going to look so cool. Okay, I hope you guys enjoyed. I'm going to check chat real quick, see if anyone else has anything. Yeah, it is a saddle repony. Got it from Weaver Leather. Yes, yes, we do enjoy. Ha. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I do tend to develop really bad calluses on my pointer fingers. So I definitely need to work on that a little. take a walk, try to meet with friends. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, when other responsibilities come in, it's hard. But so for me, I've just made it a priority. Now, I don't have as many responsibilities because I'm single and I don't have a family. And my expenses are extremely low because I don't do anything. So I might be a little bit different than you, but I just made it a priority, and I feel like it's what I've been called to do. And so even though it's been hard sometimes to keep going, I've just never quit. I've never stopped. Yeah. All right, we're gonna call it. Tomorrow I will go ahead and we're gonna work on the pockets next time, and we'll be doing some sewing there as well. So I hope you guys enjoyed, and yeah, I will see you tomorrow. Thanks for all the interaction. I like it. I like it a lot. I will see you tomorrow. Bye.